You know how 2-year-olds know, like them little toddlers? Yeah. They're like, this is mine. Mine. Like, you know what I'm saying? And we then approach God when he's like, set aside your selfish interests. And we're like, mine. Mine.
Right.
Beautiful people, welcome back to Kingdom Prototype, the blueprint for abundant living. I'm your girl Lex.
I'm your girl Jazz.
And welcome back, beautiful people. All right, y'all, we are still in our Count the Cost. I don't know, do I want to name it Count the Cost or Counting the Cost? What sounds better?
Counting the cost, because it's a process.
I bet. We are still in our Counting the Cost series where we are counting the cost. Jesus told us that we need to count the cost if we want to be his disciple, his follower. We need, go ahead.
Because Jesus ain't cheap.
Jesus, Lord. I mean, he shouldn't be. Oh, that's good, because we ain't cheap either.
That's good. Right. Sure ain't. That's good.
We ain't cheap either. We were bought with a price.
Ooh,
and the price was literally the blood of Jesus. We ain't cheap either. So, that was good to me. I'm sorry.
That is good, because
that was real good.
You can't get no higher than that. That's a price. That's priceless.
Right. Like, literally. In order for us to be where we are, to have this relationship with God, with the bells torn from the top, and like all of that, like Jesus literally had to die, a sinner's death, and he wasn't even up.
It's crazy, like, because it goes back to God not asking us for anything that he's not willing to do. So, you know, think about that price. Him sacrificing his son.
That's good. That's priceless. So good, because God leads by example, y'all. He is the ultimate leader. And sometimes we get so caught up in what he's requiring of us, what he's asking of us, or whatever it is we have to endure or go through. But like, he wouldn't ask us if he didn't already.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So like, he's like, I got street cred. You know what I'm saying?
I got a track record. You gotta read about me.
Right, okay. You better read about me. He's like, I got a Bible full of receipts.
Right, I don't read.
Okay, literally. What? And then I got walking receipts. Can we?
That's good.
Walking
testimony. That's good.
That was so good to me.
Can
we talk about it? Okay. I just felt that was a praise break. Okay. Like, I don't know how to shout. Can somebody teach me? Can somebody teach me how to move my feet?
Right.
My feet.
Because I just feel like I just be just doing something.
Right. Like, and be offbeat sometimes. Like, I missed the beat.
Facts. Low-key, I feel like they had a class and I wasn't aware of it, because like a class on how to praise dance.
Right. Like
somewhere.
Right. So come teach us. Right. Okay. Because I want to be the don. I don't want to be going in like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just got to clap. And I just got to move my feet like this. You know,
look like I'm doing something.
Right. Just kind of march in place. Like, okay. Anyway.
That is hilarious.
But yes, so we are continuing to count the costs, because we need to. Oftentimes we don't count the costs, and then we just kind of jump right in, and then stuff hits the fan, and now we're unstable and we're double-minded because we just never counted the costs. And sometimes we don't realize that, okay, I hear you in your compassion. Oftentimes we don't realize that all of this is what entails following you. And so now we're discouraged. Now we're walking away. Now we're turning away because this was supposed to be great.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying?
We have like unrealistic expectations, and then we go to blaming God and pointing fingers when things don't go the way that we envision and we create it in our head that we think that it should go. So that's real.
Yeah, very much so. Gosh, it's like.
But the thing is, God lays out all the terms and conditions. So if we would take the time to, you know, read his word, to pray and just really get to know him, we should be in a place where we're fully aware of what the Christian life entails and what it looks like to follow Jesus. Generally, like, everybody have their own, you know, their own lives and issues, troubles and tribulations and stuff like that. But in general, I feel like when we're in our word and when we're praying and spending time with God, we should have a general understanding of what that looks like.
Exactly. So you're saying we do it to ourselves sometimes?
Yeah. We definitely do, because God don't leave nothing, like, he's very clear, but he lays everything out, like. So we shouldn't be out here guessing about, you know, what it entails. So we definitely do it to ourselves.
Right. We the problem. Right. I'm sorry, this is taking me clean out. Real. We is the prodigy. It's us, Lord. It's us. It's me, oh Lord.
I'm weak.
What the old folks be saying, standing in the need.
Right.
That's what the old folks say.
Right.
Not shouldn't call them old. I shouldn't call them old. They old. They are. But you take offense to me. So anyway, yes, we are counting the cost. And one of those costs is conforming to God's will and God's way. And we continue to have Bible because we live in a generation where we don't read the Bible. So you gonna interact with us and you gonna get Bible. Okay. Anyway, and it says, this is, I guess is what they call as the B clause, because I put dots in it, but I don't remember what the first part said. And he said to them, this is Jesus speaking, if you truly want to follow me, you should at once completely, I'm sorry. Completely. I'm sorry. Disown is what got me. I'm sorry. Okay, let me get myself together. Jesus said, if you truly want to follow me, you should at once completely disown your own life. And you must be willing to share my cross and experience it as your own, as you continually, I'll move on, continually, ongoing, surrender to my ways. That was in the Passion Translation, but let's hit up this Amplified Bible, okay? Because that one be taking me all the time. So he says in the Amplified Bible, this is Mark 8:35, by the way. If anyone wishes to follow me as my disciple, he must deny himself, set aside selfish interests. Can we just stop right there?
That's good.
You got something to say? Go ahead.
We don't be wanting to do that. That's what I got to say. You know, we see stuff like that and be like, set aside my interests.
Right. But they mine.
Right.
That's
but
so
I want
good.
it.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we see stuff like that, and that just that turned a lot of people off.
Yeah. Because I'm screaming because we like them 2-year-olds.
Facts.
You know how 2-year-olds be like, I'm sorry, get yourself together. You know how 2-year-olds though, like them little toddlers, they're like, this is mine.
Right.
Mine.
Right.
Mine. Like, you know what I'm saying? And we then approach God when he's like, set aside your selfish interest, and we're like, mine.
I'm weak.
Mine.
Facts. We do though. We do all the time.
All the
even
time.
Even if it's to our detriment. Yeah,
like, so good.
It's mine. It's mine. It's mine. We still just don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just. What's wrong with us?
Yeah. literally, as you were saying that, my thought was, why is that?
Yeah. Well, I know. I mean, God tells us why it is. We're born just naturally rebellious.
That's true.
So that's where, you know, the power of we have to surrender.
Once again. We're just saying the same thing.
Right. Like, yeah, it just goes back to surrender, because we have to surrender to the Holy Spirit, because without that, we're going to continue to be like, it's mine, you know, just rebelling against God. That's because we are naturally born sinners.
Yeah, very much so. We operate, we're so fleshly.
Facts.
I never thought I would ever be the person who says that. I'm sorry. Like, that is a plot twist. But we are literally so fleshly. And that is why we can't set aside our selfish interests. Because we just walk, we live our whole entire lives, some of us, some people, just in your flesh. Mm-hmm. Just whatever my flesh want, my flesh get. Uh-oh. Ooh, okay, I'll move on. Cause that can go deep. That can go deep.
It can.
That can go real deep. So I think I might want to just move on. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. And if it don't make sense to our flesh, we ain't trying to hear it.
Listen.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, God is literally the opposite of our flesh. Like, we literally have to, when the Bible says we have to put on what the mind of Christ is, that's real. Mm-hmm. Because if we follow our flesh, we'll just be out here just
doing whatever.
Doing whatever.
That's so good. I move to the city that I want to move when I want to. I eat the food I want to eat when I want to. I don't want to do this, so I don't do it. Like, is that not the world that we live in? He's fine, so he mine. She fine, so she mine. Can we talk about it?
Facts.
I want this person, this bag, so I'm going to spend this money on it.
That's right.
I want this, I want that, I want this, whatever my flesh wants, my flesh gets. Like, is that not the epitome?
Definitely the epitome
of today's society. We can't set aside our selfish interests for just little things. So why do we think we can do it for big things? Like, I'm sorry, I'm having an epiphany kind of, sort of, and I just need to calm down. Go ahead.
Ooh. Yeah.
Did that make sense?
That does make sense.
Okay.
I don't even know. We just need God. We just need Him to help us, because
like. Okay, I'll move on. I'll just move on.
What you was gonna say?
No, because that irks me. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what it is. If it's just personality, or if it's probably all of the above. Like personality. I was an athlete, so just kind of discipline. Just this idea of like we have no fight back. Like, it drives me insane. Like, it literally drives me insane. So then you take that and you add the spiritual component of it, where we just kind of in our flesh, we feed our flesh just day in and day out, just feed our flesh. It's just like we don't die to our flesh,
because it's not convenient.
Yeah, that's good, because we are glued to convenience.
Exactly.
Yeah, very much so. So I'm gonna move on, because I got annoyed.
I'm weak.
I got annoyed because God is the opposite. Like, I'm so glad Jesus wasn't glued to his flesh,
girl.
And he like, I am just grateful,
right?
Because what if Jesus was like us, and the flesh, and the flesh wanted what the flesh got?
We would just be out here on our way to hell,
literally.
Yeah, that's real.
Because he wouldn't have gotten that cross.
That's real.
We saw what his flesh was saying. Wait a minute, slow.
And the thing is, he made the decision, so he had the option.
Yes, he did.
You know, he could have said, you know what, I'm not dying for these people. Like, you know, I'm good. I'm good on that. I'll go the other way. Yeah. But he said, if I don't do this, how will the scriptures be fulfilled?
Yeah.
That tells you that says what's about to happen next. So that just goes to show that Jesus, like, consciously made the decision.
That's so good.
To go to the cross.
Yeah.
And that definitely was not a fleshly decision.
No.
That definitely was not a fleshly decision at all.
Yeah.
Because you can kind of see, like, I don't want to call it a battle, but I'm going to just use the word battle. You can see the battle that I guess Jesus was going through in the Garden of Gethsemane, where he was just like, you know, Father, if it's possible, take this suffering away from me. So that's flesh, which is understandable.
Okay.
You know? But the Spirit was basically saying, but if I don't do this, how will what did I say? How will the prophecy basically be fulfilled? Yeah. So he chose to basically be Spirit led instead of depending on his flesh. Thank God.
Thank God. Praise you. His flesh was his selfish interest.
Yeah.
And then when he stepped out of that in his spirit, he got outside of him. He started thinking about you and me and she. He got outside of his own selfish interests and his own selfish. I mean, not to call him selfish, but you get what I'm saying. Like, he got outside of that, and then was able to praise you.
Just basically, like not
Lord have mercy.
Right.
Like,
that's good. Like, of course, not calling him selfish, but just basically like, he just thought about like what it was going to cost him. Like, he was not counting the cost. He was thinking about what it's going to cost him, you know, and just the things he had to go through. So thankfully he got outside of that.
Facts.
And because
Jesus. Yeah. So just Jesus. Our point is, we need to get to a place where we have God on the forefront. I'm getting ahead. God on the forefront of our minds, because many of us are out here building our lives, but we're building it for ourselves.
Right.
And we're not building it for God's glory. God is just like an afterthought. Right. Go ahead. That was a deep inhale. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It was deep because it's sad.
Yeah.
And it's so natural to a lot of people to have God as an afterthought. And it's just, I don't know, it's just heartbreaking, because God literally gave up everything to bring us to himself. And I feel like, you know, the least we can do, especially as believers, like, you know, is to consider God and try our best. Now, we're not going to get it right all the time. Nobody's perfect, but to at least consider God, right? And then and attempt to honor God with our lives and bring glory to him with our lives.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
absolutely. And it is sad. It is sad because we are self-centered. And so basically when we say this, so this is what this looks like, right? Like us building our lives for us and not his glory, just kind of being focused in on us. It means like you know, we want to get married, and we want to get married for the companionship, and oh my gosh, somebody have go to the movies with, somebody have sex with, and all this other jazz, and it's like, oh yeah, and bring glory to and bring glory to God. I want all this money, you know what I'm saying? Because you know, I want this freedom, you know what I'm saying? Financial freedom, you know what I'm saying? Time freedom. Okay, I'm after time freedom. Can we talk about it? Anyway, another conversation. Oh yeah. By the way, and to, you know,
to glorify God,
and to give, you know, to pour, and to, you know, be a conduit for Kim Kardashian, and all that.
That's so good. And going back to the marriage thing, it's crazy because a lot of people don't realize the purpose for marriage. Marriage is put in place to basically portray Jesus' relationship with his church, and it's like, but so many people are out here just getting married, like you said, just to have somebody to go to the movies with, to have sex with, or whatever the case is, but they rarely consider what it means, you know what I'm saying? Right, the purpose of marriage. Exactly. Like when they say everything is spiritual, they really mean that. Like it's just crazy. Like, and it's just sad because people are literally taking the gifts and while ignoring the gift giver. So
absolutely,
that's awful. You got people that's getting married don't even believe in God. Like, what you doing? Like, marriage is for Christians first and foremost.
What you doing? Facts.
Like, for you know, people who actually believe in God, because without God, marriage don't even exist. He's the one that instituted marriage. So it's just crazy. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, and it's so heartbreaking that many of us, even believers, you go to church every Sunday, but yet God is still an afterthought in your life. You go to church so you can get what you want.
Right.
You're going to church for you, and God is still just an afterthought. And we're not saying that these things are bad, right? Like, we're not saying that have your millions, okay, have your marriage, okay, have your business, okay, travel the world, live your whole entire best life. Okay, who gonna live their best life? Okay, can we talk about it? Okay, can we talk about it? So that's not what we are saying. But what we are saying is, can we just seek God first? Can we think of God first? How do you want to use this marriage? How do you want to use my business? How do you want to use me and my life? Are you mindful of God? Go ahead.
That's good. I feel like it goes back to just realizing that we don't own nothing.
Not a doggone thing.
Realizing that, you know, we are literally stewards over our lives. So when God says that he owns the earth and everything in it, that includes all of us. That includes our lives. And I feel like the issue comes in when we tend to conveniently forget that. Conveniently forget that God is the owner of our lives, and we're just stewards. We're called to be faithful stewards.
Yeah.
So, because I feel like when you get that concept in your head, you are constantly looking for ways to honor God and bring God glory out of your life. So I feel like it's just like it's basically, we need to go back to the whole steward concept of God just owning everything, including us and including our lives.
Very much so. Because when we realize that, we don't put things above him.
Right.
So when we have the owner mindset, then we put all that above God. My kids, I'm putting above God. My job, I'm putting above God. My marriage, I'm putting above God. My 6-7 figure business, I'm now putting it before God, because in our minds, we are the owner of it. But I mean, do you really want to do any of that without God? Like, I got questions.
Yes,
like I got questions. And so once again, we do that because we're still in our own selfish interest. This is what I gotta have.
Right.
These kids, this is what I gotta do. This marriage, this is what. Go ahead. Like,
we do that, and we just expect God to sign off on it. Like,
okay,
let's sign the dotted line right here.
This what you? Okay. Just bet. All right, cool. Now go ahead and just
God
forget about me.
Right,
like,
God be like, no, now let me show you my agreement.
Yes, very much so. And so I got a question, y'all. I got a question. Like, how mindful are we of God? Like, what tends to be in the forefront of your mind? What you think about during the day? When you wake up, what you thinking about? When you in the shower, driving your car, washing your dishes, when you just in the nooks and grooves, I guess I don't think that's the correct terminology of life. What's going on in your mind? Is it all about you? Things you got to do, your to-do list? Do you ever think about God? outside of your prayer time and devotional time in the morning, I got so many questions.
That's good. We really just need to slow down when it comes to it. Like, most of us, like, just society in general is very fast paced. And I just feel like it's just important to slow down and just think of God. And I also feel like what helps is reading about what God thinks of you. Because I feel like that's it will give you more motivation to keep God on the forefront of your mind. You know what I'm saying? If you knew that you were always on God's mind and that He could never forget you and that He got your name, that's kind of intense, written on the palm of His hand, like I feel like it would be more motivation to make time for God, to keep Him in mind and things like that. So maybe something that can help is just reading about how God feels about you, maybe Googling some scriptures about what God think about you or something like that. I don't know, but I just also feel like we just need to slow down.
That's good.
And just because we be so on to the next thing, like a lot of times, and just getting caught up in everyday life. So
we don't stop to smell the roses. 1,
facts,
and 2, God's not a priority. So you think about the things that are okay. You think about the things that are a priority in your life. Think about it. What I gotta do for my job? Hold up. I got kids. What I gotta get them together? Okay. Ooh, gotta eat. Okay, can we talk?
When I get home, gotta wash these dishes, do this laundry.
Priorities. And maybe we need to rearrange.
And then we have the nerve, well, a lot of us have the nerve to rush God in our time. So not only do, He usually is an afterthought for a lot of people, but when you are in spending time with God, it's not funny. You're rushing.
Right,
you're just
30 minutes,
right.
15 minutes.
You setting. Okay, I'm gonna spend 30 minutes, and don't get me wrong. Like it's good to be intentional. You should allow God time in your life, but just to say, okay, God, you got 30 minutes. I'm listening, and you watching the clock at that. Like, come on.
Facts, like that's I got X, Y, and Z. And it's just like, why didn't you just wake up earlier?
Exactly. So it's all about just being intentional.
Yeah, very much so. Being intentional and being hungry.
That too.
Like, cause when you're hungry, it's like, I bet. Like, I'm awake. I don't care what time I gotta wake up.
Facts.
I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna make sure that I have ample amount of time to spend with you throughout my day. It's like, we gotta do God the way we do like our friends. You know what I'm saying? Or our man or our boo thing. Like, how does it make you feel when you just going about your day randomly and you get home or you hang out with a friend and they bring you, hey, I just randomly thought about you. Here's this X, Y, and Z. Or, whatever the case may be. It shows that you were on the forefront of their minds. We got to do that to God. Like, when is the last time we just randomly driving down the car, Lord, I just love you. I got questions.
And that's so real, because we can actually compare it to like a relationship in today's society, like you said, a friendship, and also just like an intimate relationship. Because how would you feel if your husband, you were always on the back burner in your husband life? You know what I'm saying? Like, where he doing everything that he could possibly do, but never like spending time with you, never planning dates, never doing romantic things like that. It's always an afterthought. We would be ready to sign them papers.
Okay, Usher.
Right? We would be ready to end the relationship. So it's the same way with God.
Exactly. And then how is it when you see them making the effort? Oh, come on. I see you making the effort. Right. So now I'm going to go out of my way. I'm going to do a little something for you.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Like, we got to work this thing. Like, that's why they relationship to work. Okay. Yeah. The same thing with Jesus. Like, it is work. And at the end of the day, we are on the forefront of His mind. We are the apple of His eye. And at some point, can we please get to a place where He's the apple of ours? Not our desires, not our boo thing, not our kids, not our businesses, our money, or whatever. But God Himself.
That's good, because He's worth it.
Yeah.
Because 10 times out of 10, He's much better than... He's better than everything. Anything that we possibly, what we think we want, our desires, like, God is better than that.
Exactly.
Like, everything that we're looking for is in Him.
Exactly. And let me clarify, because we are not saying that your kids and your boo thing can't be the apple of your eye.
Yeah.
But we talking priorities. God. Then your kids or your boo thing. I don't know the order y'all do. Okay, or whatever the case may be. What? Listen, some people be like, I put my kids above my spouse. Other people, you know, that's another conversation. And okay, go ahead.
That's real though, because it reminds me of Jesus. Jesus told you, like, if you ain't willing to love me more than you love your kids and your spouse,
Mama,
or
your daddy,
else, yeah, then you're
not down the whole list.
Yeah, he said you're not worthy of being my disciple.
That's so good.
So it's about priority.
He did a whole genealogy.
Yeah, he's like, so it ain't no confusion. Let me let you know, if I ain't more important to you than these people right here.
He went down every. I'm sorry. Oh my God, the way that thing just took me out. Like, he said, "Let me make it fun."
I'm weak. Facts.
Let me make it fun. And so I lost my train of thought because that thing took me out. And so yes, a major part of counting the cost is getting out of our own selfish interests, our own selfish ambitions, and really buying in. That's a good word. And really buying in. We have to buy in to everything that encompasses God.
Right.
Not half of it, not part of it, not just the parts that we like. Okay. But all of it. Even the parts we don't like, we don't agree with. We're like, Jesus, that's dumb. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. Okay. Anything? I bet. So, yeah. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I missed one. And to share. If any of you guys are feeling stuck and stagnant in your relationship with God, click down the link in the description. We got something for you. It's a free guide. It's called The 5 Ways to Deepen Your Relationship with God. And we're going to go through 5 habits that you can start incorporating daily that can help you seek God. And as you draw near to Him, He will draw near to you. So if you're ready, you need some passion, you need some seasoning, some flavor on your relationship with God, don't forget to click the link and get your free copy. So, we out. That's it.
Deuces.